Hello everybody, welcome to another Making Monday Lovable video. And today's video is called Entrepreneur or Freelancer, and has a very specific reason because I recently, a friend of mine sent to me a podcast that is done by Seth Godin, and it was on freelancers. And he sent it to me and said, like, I thought about you immediately. And I listened to it. And while listening, I was just like, it's like mind-blowing. I was completely surprised and shocked all at the same time. And it resonated totally 100% with me. The thing is that I never really bothered to think so much about these two words, freelancer and entrepreneur. I always used to, and I use the word entrepreneur, saying I am one. I was asked several times, are you a freelancer? And then I would usually be confused and say like, well, yeah, I'm a freelancer. I have my own company, like that. Or when I was asked if I work with somebody, I said like, no, it's just me. And I never really dug into what these two words mean and if I am one or the other or both. And when I listened to that podcast episode, it all fell into place. The funny thing is, it fell into a place that's already there, because the way I'm doing, the way I'm acting in my company, in my work, who I am, how I am, what I do, how I do it, what I feel towards certain things that were suggested to me, they all are very clear that I am a freelancer. I'm not an entrepreneur. And I was kind of like, wow, this is amazing. So I will now cross out that word from my vocabulary of describing who I am and what I'm doing, because I'm not an entrepreneur. So quite in the beginning, he describes like an entrepreneur is somebody basically that creates jobs for others, that in the end is not doing a certain things, but is basically paid while sleeping and creating other opportunities for people to work. While a freelancer is someone that basically lives from gig to gig and is supposed to find new clients, new customers, is very specialized in what he and she can do, how highly skilled, kind of an expert in that specific field. And he goes through different parts of what it means to be a freelancer, the trickinesses as well, and what to do, how to do to be a successful freelancer. And I just re-listened to that podcast again. It's just like small, and I took notes. It's just small things like, when basically the core of the work is kind of me in my business. It's me as a person who does it, and people hire me for doing scientific illustrations because of me and my skills, and it's basically not thinking to be for everybody, because that's kind of a trap. There's a lot of skill development involved, a lot of emotional skills. He talks about this as well, to be able to calm down a client when they are stressed and panicked because they don't know what to do, how to do. And this is something that I regularly do. And also when it comes to the market, to find not the biggest market there is, but the smallest viable market. We don't need so many clients. We just need a few that regularly give work. But also then the importance of not being drowned in work and not doing business in finding new clients. So there's a specific balance. So it's a really great, and with all these things, I can identify myself very much. It's basically me as a person, and that's not an entrepreneur. I'm not an inventor and creator of jobs and things. I'm a service provider with a very specific skill set for a very specific niche as well. For scientists, oftentimes it's plant scientists, which is one of the smallest parts of the natural sciences. So I'm already quite highly specialized, and it's also people in that community know me because people talk, the plant science community is small, so people talk about the same people often within their community, and it's not so many scientific illustrators that are focused on plant science. And he also mentions this aspect of course, that doesn't mean that I can't get help as a freelancer, but it's not about like building something big and actually hire people to do what I actually like to do. And but I do have an assistant that she helps me with some administrative things and messaging and emailing, so I can get help. But when it comes to the actual work, it's me who's doing it, and this is always something that I liked. And one of the sentences that really, got stuck with me is when he said, like, the pain kicks in when the freelancer thinks she has to grow and act like an entrepreneur. And this was just like, oh my God, that's totally true. Because I was several times asked, like, okay, where do you see your business going? How would you grow? Where do you want to go? What would you want to do? You could do so many things, and always with this growth mindset. And like having people and employees and so on and so forth on all these things. And I always thought, like, well, yeah, that's a possibility, but I never really wanted to, and until now I don't really want to have employees. First of all, it's a huge responsibility, and if I grow so much that I have to like have somebody doing the work that I actually love to do regularly, and I don't do it anymore because I don't have time for it, that's not what I want. I always want to illustrate. I want to keep that. And then he very nicely also described that freelancers then hire other freelancers and work together on things. And this is also what I do. I have my colleague that's an animator. So we're both one-people companies, both freelancers. And he also resonated very much with that podcast because I immediately sent it to him. And so when I have somebody asking me for an animation, I said, like, yeah, I have somebody that I work with, so I can illustrate, he can animate. And like this, we cover a bigger ground as well without being employed and dependent on each other. And when I would think about this type of growth and responsibility that comes with it and less freedom, I never really liked it. I like to do what I do, how I do it, and expand in my ways. And this is one of the things that I'm really thinking about, is that I want to actually help and share this type of knowledge that I gained throughout the years of having my own company and being a freelancer, with other people that want to be freelancers as well, because there is so much space and there are so many niches to cover with a skill set that's so rare in the combination of being a scientist and having artistic skills. I'd like to help other people to do the same. So I'm thinking right now on how I could do that to expand this. So for me, that then I know other people in other countries that do something similar, but not completely the same as me, because nobody can do what I can do. I can do what they can do. I don't have their network. They don't have my network. I don't have their skills. They don't have my skills. But if I know people in different countries, like this is how it is in my mind, then I can refer clients to them, because I had several times people from specifically Poland contacting me for work, but it's impossible for them to pay what I charge, because I live in Sweden, they live in Poland, quite economically different, very different countries. So it's impossible for them to hire me. So if I would know somebody in Poland with different living costs, I could refer them to that person. So yeah, this is basically what I wanted to share with you. And yeah, feel free to share with me what your thoughts are. And there's no one way that's better or worse. It's just two different things, and it's to just carry these things with pride. While before I was like, I don't know, freelancer, yeah, maybe, entrepreneur, yeah, I am, but I don't know. There's a difference between this, and there's also a difference between founder and CEO. Like too many things and definitions. Yeah, and that's what I wanted to share with you for today. And I wish you a nice Monday and a nice week, and talk to you next week. Bye bye.